Marge, now I'm interested in hearing where and how AI has made a difference in your life and work. And I'm sure you have many stories to tell about that. But pick one that shows how it's changed things for you.
Well, my story really begins on September 11th, 9/11 in Manhattan, working with a group of 70 senior executives in a hotel chain. And when we heard about the World Trade Centers being hit, obviously the session that I was leading was no longer top priority. And so I offered to take care of a little girl, Rachel, 4 years old, big blue eyes, blonde, adorable, so that her mother could do what we thought was going to be needed, which was to house all this medical personnel who was going to come in. And they had people in their hotels, in the trade center. So it was a very dramatic time. Wow. And so I was taking Rachel around the corporate office, and I observed something that was very surprising to me. There were people who were crying. There were people who were frozen. There were people who were so traumatized. And when they would see Rachel and they would hear her voice, they would reanimate. They would move into a different place. And that's when I came to believe that children are the image and voice of hope. I mean, even if you look at the news media and you see what was the tipping point, it so often is young people. It's a new generation. So fast forward, I'm doing a session. I have no experience with little kids. I mean, other than having my own little kids. I have never taught, but at the graduate level, if it's below the master's degree, I don't know what you people are talking about. So I get called in to talk to kindergartners in a private school about appreciative inquiry. So I did two things. I drew little T-shirts and I said, what is the word that goes on your T-shirt? And then I asked them, who's the person you're always happy to see? Now, on the T-shirts, every single word is positive. There is no, I'm conflicted, I'm troubled, I'm less than, I'm too fat, none of that stuff. I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm happy, I'm good at sport, blah, blah, blah. So every word in those 5-6-year-olds' vocabulary about themselves is an affirming word. Then I said, who are you happy to see? And there were 20 kids in the room. They were in a circle, and I still don't know enough about kids to tell you what to make of this, but of the 20 kids, 19 of them said a grandparent. And that really set me into a path that when I had my own grandchildren, I think I just thought differently about the role of a grandparent. And of course, I thought about my own grandparents too. But that leads to the really impactful experience of saying, let's introduce appreciative inquiry to our families and to young people. And so I have finished working on a book about appreciative inquiry. It's the first kids book on appreciative inquiry, that the co-authors are my grandchildren. And we started with them when they were 10 years old, because something that I believe is don't do anything about me without me. And so we have authentic voices in that book. The book is real because it's based on real kids, a real school, a real place, and a real situation. So the impact on me goes back to my first story about Verizon, because one of the major telephone company mantras is walk like you talk. And that's a word for authenticity. And working with the people that you're talking about, having their voices in the book, in the room, in your life, is how we learn, A, to be authentic, B, to walk like we talk, and C, to have appreciative inquiry as a way of life, or as the Mexicans, when Dave and I worked in Mexico with Avon Mexico, in Avon Mexico, they would say, this is a filosofia. And so when you move it from a construct, a tool, into a philosophia, you get to where I've been for the last few years. You know how we do the 4Ds, or Mac Odell does 11 Ws, or whatever heck he's doing. What you have is that fourth D is really, to my mind, embodiment. Make a big D, embodiment. If I can embody those principles, if I can be authentic with those principles, if I can be in alignment with my walk and my talk, then I am not only having AI as an impact to me, I am impacting others with AI.
Yes.